Hi, I'm Jane and this is my son Eddie, and we love cooking and we're passionate about food. Now the best thing is that Eddie is a head chef. Now we love shopping in the Norwood, Payneham, St Peters area because they have this wonderful program called Food Secrets, and it's about supporting local business, many of them 3 or 4 generations old. They've been going for over 150 years. Today we are making a beautiful baked fish dish using this magnificent Nannygai.
Yeah.
Eddie, tell me all about that.
So this beautiful fish comes from a bloke called Jack Henderson over in Port Lincoln. So we get this fish whole intact, so we've scaled and gutted it. You don't have to use this fish for this recipe. You could use whatever fish you like. Have a chat to your fishmonger on the parade about what they've got coming in and get them to prep it for you, and it makes it a whole lot easier.
I love going to Seafood on the Parade, which is over near the Norwood Foodland.
Yeah.
And if I want something special, I talk to them a couple of days before and then they can order it in for me. But we are so blessed in South Australia that we have wonderful fresh seafood. So what are we going to do with this magnificent Nannygai?
So first of all, we're going to score it, season it, and then we're going to stuff it with some aromatics. So we're going to add in some thyme, parsley, lemon, and then a good glug of the Rio Vista olive oil and a good sprinkling of the Murray River sea salt. And then we're going to use quite a few of the same ingredients in our Sauce Vierge, which is a beautiful fresh, you could almost say it's like a hot salsa. So we're going to keep the heirloom tomatoes quite large, and we're going to heat up our olive oil and our shallots, and then we're going to drop the fresh stuff in and then take it off the heat pretty much. These
beautiful fresh herbs and tomatoes and shallots that you can see in front of us have come from 4 Seasons Fresh, which are on Payneham Road, and they sell to restaurants and commercially, but we can all go shopping there and make beautiful selections as well, and we know it's really, really fresh.
So first of all, we're going to take off this little fin here, because that will sort of just burn and it's going to stick to the fillet as it kind of cooks like that. So just using your sharp kitchen scissors. Again, your fishmonger can do this for you if you ask him nicely.
So when we got the fish, they were intact. They still had their scales and still had their belly. So you've scaled and gutted that outside.
Correct. So we're scoring it just to help even out the cooking time. So if you look at the fish up here, it's 5.5 centimeters thick, and then down here it's only a couple. So we really want to make sure that the fish cooks evenly. And your fishmonger is much more inclined to do it if you have a good relationship with them, and that's why it pays to, shop local and have those relationships with small businesses in the area. So we've got our oven tray here just with a sheet of baking paper in the bottom, just to avoid it sticking. We were lucky enough to have one that just fits. It only just fits.
Made to order.
I'm just going to trim that tail a little bit.
It's going to get a little haircut.
Because what we're going to do, once we've stuffed it, for the majority of the cooking time, we are going to cook it covered. So it can sort of steam in there.
Almost steam.
And then what we'll do right at the very end is we'll crank the grill up and we'll sort of grill it on top to get
Make
a
it
bit
go
of
crispy.
Colour.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I'll oil it first, Mama.
Yep. And then when you're massaging the oil, you've got to be really careful that you don't jab yourself on any of the fins.
Correct.
So you do that by pushing with the grain rather than against the grain.
Push your hands in the way the water would run over the fish.
This is that great salt that's come up from the Murray. It's sort of pink salt. I love using.
Chuck a bit in the cavity in there.
There we go. There you go, little fishy.
Season again, don't be scared. Nice. We're going to rub that in. We'll set that to one side and we'll just get our lemons sliced and our herbs prepped ready to go in. So we've just got our thyme, parsley and lemon. That's going to go into the cavity of our fish. So again, it's just to sort of add some flavour, add some fragrance to it.
But without being overpowering, because the flavour of the fish is quite delicate, and also the structure of the fish is delicate too.
And then just stuff in that thyme. So Mum, we're just going to create a little kind of bed for this guy, I guess.
Cocoon.
A cocoon.
Little cocoon.
So what we want to do is obviously cook the fish but not have it dry out too much, which can happen quite easily in the oven. So we're going to essentially steam it in this tray, and at the sort of last 5 minutes of the cooking time, we're going to put the grill on really, really hot and try and get some colour on top of the fish.
What temperature have you got the oven on at?
I've got the oven at 200. Yeah, and I reckon it's probably going to take 25 to 30 minutes minimum. A good way to check if the fish is cooked is take a metal implement, like a small knife or a metal skewer, into the thickest part of the fillet and just test it on the back of your hand or on your lip, and if it's a little bit uncomfortable, you can probably take it out and let it rest.
So that's the temperature of it. That's a good trick. So Eddie, the fish is in the oven. It's going to be 20 to 25 minutes. We're going to make a lovely fresh sauce, of a summery kind of sauce, using these beautiful little baby cocktail tomatoes. I love the yellow ones as well.
Yep.
And what are the other ingredients going into this?
So for the sauce vierge, we've got some shallots, coriander seed, and picked mint parsley. So we need to confit these down, which basically means to cook it really, really slowly at a low temperature with no color in some olive oil. So we've just peeled and sliced those. So I'll get those on a low heat to start with. So we need to add our crushed or cracked coriander seeds to this. So I'm just using the back of a small saucepan just to crack them open.
And that releases the flavour, doesn't it?
Yeah, and also just so you're not biting into a whole sort of seed. If you've got a mortar and pestle at home, you can do this as well, but this is a great little hack. So what we want to do with the sauce is we want to get the shallots confit, and then basically just before serving the fish, we're going to bring it back up to temperature. We're going to add in all our fresh stuff because we don't want the fresh stuff to really cook down and become like stodgy.
No, you don't want these to lose structure, do you?
So we'll just take the bottoms off these where it's been connected to the plant. They will diminish a little bit in the hot sauce. So if you go really nice thin slices, they're just gonna disintegrate.
Yep.
So with the red cherry tomatoes, I'm just taking the bottoms off and cutting those straight in half. Again, just so they're sort of like similar in size to those.
Yep.
Whereas
So they all cook evenly.
Whereas if I was to slice them, they would be much, much smaller. So Mum, the reason I thought we should go with a Sauce Vierge for this, because it's a really well-balanced sauce and it's also celebrating some of the beautiful stuff that's in season. So we've got the beautiful heirloom tomatoes. They'll bring like a really nice sort of sweetness and acidity to the sauce. And then combine that with the beautiful aromatic fresh herbs and then sort of the warmth from the coriander seeds. I think it's going to complement a good amount of acidity from the lemon juice. So you can see here now our shallots are starting to become translucent and really, really fragrant.
And are you just sort of like guessing the quantities, or you know in your head how much you need?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I've probably got 2 tablespoons of chopped mint, 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley.
And look how finely chopped that is, that mint. Can't believe how fine that is. It's amazing.
Just to help it disperse through the sauce, you know, so we're not having to use a massive amount.
But you're getting the flavour of it.
Correct. Shallots are nice and soft and translucent. We're going to get the fish out, uncover it, get the oven on grill.
And then brown it up a bit.
Get some colour on top.
Do you get nervous at this point?
Not really.
Oh, of course not. He's so calm. He's not nervous like his mum.
If you ruin it, there's plenty more out there.
Plenty more fish in the sea, is that right?
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So you can really smell the aromats coming out. And you
Yeah.
can sort of see how there's a bit of blood coming, or not blood, but just juices congealing on top. That's how we know it's pretty much there.
Yep,
So
beautiful.
we're just going to get the oven up nice and hot.
Okay.
Crank the grill up to 220. We're going to stick it in there for maybe 5 minutes just to get a bit of colour on top.
So 90%'s done. It's just the last 10% to do, and then we're going
Yeah.
to make this beautiful sauce to go on top of it.
Yep, that's it.
Can't wait.
So we just want to warm these gently.
Yep.
All the cooking's done. As you can see, they're really
Yeah.
nice and translucent in there.
Yeah, they kind of really changed colour, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's almost like a honey colour.
So that is as hot as I want to get it. Just back up to a little sizzle. Then we're going to go in with our tomatoes. So we're doing this in this method to sort of just gently cook the tomatoes. Good pinch of salt in there. Just table salt is fine.
And we've already salted the outside of the fish to make it nice and crisp.
So I'm going to turn that off. We'll get our herbs in, and then let's say for that amount, the juice from 2 lemons. So just run your lemons through a sieve.
Catch the little pips.
Give that a good mix.
Oh, that's smelling, and that's looking amazing.
So it's almost like a hot salsa.
Really
So
good.
we'll clear this stuff up and
Okay.
get ready to serve. So Mum, got a little bit of colour on top there.
That's our beautifully baked Nannygai.
Yep.
He's been in the oven for about 25 minutes. Then on top of that, under the griller for about 7 or 8 minutes, I reckon we had it there.
So now I'm just going to check, like I was saying earlier, into the thickest part of the fish just to make sure it's nice and hot inside. Yeah, so I'm happy with that.
Can I feel?
Yep.
Ooh, yes, it's hot enough.
So what we're going to do, very carefully lift it out of our baking tray into this tray.
Carefully lift
So you
it.
want to support in between the head and the spine because that will split.
Oh, good job. You did him
Straight in.
proud, and he fits perfectly.
So now we've got him in our plate, we're going to serve him in. We're just going to really simply dress him with this beautiful Sauce Vierge just all the way over. It's almost like a veg side going with it because it's quite chunky and there's quite a bit to it. And then we're just going to hit it with a little bit of fresh dill just to garnish it.
As soon as you smell it, it makes
Yeah.
you start to kind of think about food.
Yeah. So at the restaurant, when we do a whole Nannygai, we char grill it. So we probably give it about 5 or 6 minutes on the char grill and then finish it in the oven. It's a little bit hard to do at home inside if you don't have an indoor grill, but if you've got a nice gas barbecue outside, you can do it on
Yeah,
there.
fantastic.
And if you're really into your barbecue and know how to use it properly, you can grill it either side and then control your heat, close the lid and finish it in the barbecue.
You look like a star when you can do a meal like that.
Yeah,
like
you
it's
do.
a bit of a show-off thing,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
is. So Mum, I'm just going to serve us up a plate of this each.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
A little bit of that tomato on there.
And the flesh should just, oh, look at that, just lifting off the bone. Beautiful white flesh of the Nannygai. A South Australian caught fish just caught off the coast of Port Lincoln. It was basically caught yesterday, wasn't it? It's so fresh.
So Mum, this here you could really comfortably serve, if you made, you know, maybe a leafy side salad and
And a potato salad.
it would easily serve 4 people.
Easily.
Absolutely.
And then once you've lifted the meat off here, you very carefully flip it over.
No, you wouldn't have to. You can just pull up the spine from there and pull it out, and then you've got a fillet sitting there.
Wow, it looks amazing. Let's have a taste. That is so good. Oh, that is beautiful. I'm really getting the flavours of those beautiful herbs, especially the dill, and then the tomatoes kind of add a different depth to it as well. So
indeed, yeah.
really, really lovely with the shallots as well. Beautiful flavours, beautiful smell. A great dish to make to share. This is all thanks to Food Secrets and the Norwood Payneham St Peters Council for putting it together. We've had a lot of fun.